here at 5 o'clock as police respond to a shooting at Turnberry Towers. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. 8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne at the scene, joining us now live on air. Kyle, what can you tell us?
Brian, when we arrived here first on scene, we saw a small police presence outside the gates of this guard-gated community. Inside, there is a much larger police presence. Metro has confirmed that when they arrived here shortly after 1 this afternoon, they found a person shot. That person taken to UMC Trauma, but we don't know the condition of that person. I spoke with someone at the entrance. He says he saw an ambulance come and go. And I spoke with two neighbors who were parking their cars. They were terrified when they heard the gunshots.
So what happened was I parked my car in valet, and then as I was walking along the walkway to go into the building, my valet comes out waving his arm saying, "There's a guy with a gun, turn around and go the other way." And so we go down into the basement, like the first level where the valet parking is, and then we heard about 6, 7, or 8 gunshots.
And what did they sound like?
Rapid fire.
Loud bangs.
It was pretty distinguishable to be a gunshot.
From what I can see, it appears that neighbors can come and go from the guard-gated community. What we don't know is who was shot exactly and who the shooter was. Reporting live on Karen Ave Paradise, Kyle Payne, 8 News Now.
Kyle, thanks for that. Our other big story tonight, an alleged kidnapping ends with a police officer shooting the suspect while 2 of the victims were taken to the hospital.
And this marks the 3rd officer-involved shooting in Metro's jurisdiction this year. 8 News Now reporter Ryan Matthew joining us now live near Lamb and Charleston with the miles traveled before the gunshot, Ryan.
Yeah, Denise, Brian, what police and security footage shows us is the car with the kidnapper in it sped down Charleston behind me just before getting forcefully stopped just a few feet away. This area earlier today, we did see a white car basically sandwiched in between multiple Metro PD cars. You might see some of the markings on the floor still. According to police, it all began with a text message from one of the people getting kidnapped.
Right in front of this store here with about 3 SWAT trucks.
The acting manager of this auto shop, who does not want to be identified, was not allowed inside his store Friday morning. He and others say Metro Police told businesses to remain closed as they investigated.
Other than the police presence, it was very desolate. There was nobody hardly around.
But it began nearly 25 miles away. Boulder City Police saying a woman texted 911 stating she had just been kidnapped before 12:30 Friday morning. Once police located them, the driver took off. Here is where Boulder City PD says the vehicle pursuit began near the 95 in Black Hills before Metro Police took over near Owens and Hollywood in the Northeast Valley. It ended near Lamb and Charleston. Security footage from a nearby business shows 6 marked police cars chasing a white vehicle before stopping just off camera after 2:30.
They were able to forcibly stop that vehicle.
Captain Joshua Martinez with Metro's Internal Oversight and Constitutional Policing Bureau says 4 people in total were inside the car, 3 of them believed to be victims. The suspect allegedly pointing a firearm at one of the victims before an officer fired theirs.
Officer discharged his weapon, striking the suspect. The suspect was tended to by medical on scene and was transported to area hospital and is in critical condition.
Now, the identities and the medical statuses of those 3 victims have yet to be released at this time. However, per Metro policy, we should be receiving the names of those involved officers in the shooting within 48 hours and then within 72 hours when we hear more of the specifics of their investigation. For now, reporting live near Lamb and Charleston, Ryan Matthew, 8 News Now.
And it is unclear what charges the alleged kidnapper facing, but kidnapping in the 1st degree carries up to 40 years in prison. If there's injury to the victim, police say 2 of the 3 victims were taken to the hospital. And new this evening, a search is ongoing out at Lake Mead. Authorities looking for a man they believe drowned in the Boulder Beach area on Thursday. Now, at this time, limited details, but we will continue to keep you updated.
Gusty winds this morning. A lot of you slept through it, but now we're starting to see those winds calm down quite a bit. Live look outside from our Sunset Station Tower Cam. Beautiful day outside. Those winds now calming down, like we said. Less than 10 miles per hour out at Reed, even calmer for Henderson. Still some gusts up to 23 in North Las Vegas. Light winds for Nellis. Notice the wind direction coming from the south. And the temperatures, that's the other big story. 89 degrees at this hour right now. Today's temperature actually dropped. compared to yesterday. We were in the mid-90s. Weather now, clear skies here, but that system continues to push off towards the east, responsible for some severe weather we're seeing right now in Wyoming. Your weather impacts this weekend. Heat, we're going to bring that back up again because we've got the temperatures are going to be really cranking up this weekend. Winds also back again later on in the weekend. Thunderstorms and any rain, though, slim chance of that happening at all. Heating up near normal by the time we get to this weekend and beyond, and another round of winds on the way. We'll pinpoint when we'll see those winds again, and bigger heat expected late week. Wait and you see the temperatures we're expecting for later on next week. I'll have that and more coming up in your most accurate forecast. Brian Denise.
All right, Ted, thank you. We've been covering it all week. The fire that erupted at an under construction Southwest apartment building happened Tuesday afternoon, yet some people say they still smell smoke in the air on this Friday.
8 News Now reporter Madison Kimbrough was there the night the fire started and again today, talking to those who live and work in the area. Madison, how's the site looking right now? Are they still keeping an eye on those hot spots?
Denise, we've been out here all morning, and you know, with the occasional flare up, you can actually see behind me that Clark County Fire is spraying down with water on the debris, and while the clubhouse was saved, fire crews are working hard to make sure that it stays that way.
As soon as we saw the big fire, since the wind was also pretty strong and the fire was coming out like it was a volcano eruption or something like that. Some people thought it was a blast.
Neighbors still reeling over the massive fire that devoured an apartment complex under construction. Those who work in the newly built Uncommons next door were told to evacuate once the fire started to spread Tuesday.
We were pretty scared, and we could smell it from distant. All the employees got calls on their phones, automated, and then we had to leave.
Clark County Assistant Fire Chief Brian O'Neill sharing with 8 News Now that crews are rotating on a 4-hour schedule to maintain 24-hour coverage. And until the large piles of debris can be dispersed and extinguished, they will continue to smolder and produce smoke.
Oh, okay.
Hannah Christensen lives at the Maverick Apartments nearby and says with the amount of heat radiating towards her balcony, she had to leave.
Trying to grab a few important belongings and our dog, and we just left as soon as we could because we didn't know with the winds. It's hard with how windy it was.
And ironically, she says her complex had a fire drill Tuesday morning.
We've never had a fire drill, but I'm sure it's just a yearly thing. And that was the yearly day that they did it on. It was kind of the weirdest coincidence ever.
And the apartment complex was about 75% complete at the time of the fire. Again, no word on what caused this blaze. Reporting here in the Southwest Valley, Madison Kimbrough, 8 News Now.
So we can tell you that the fire initially started on the roof of the complex, and fire officials have declared those buildings just a total loss. But it's still unclear what the developers plan to do with the clubhouse that is still intact.
A pedestrian struck and killed by a vehicle late last night. It happened on Sahara right near Commercial Center. The road in that area shut down for nearly 12 hours. Metro police say a speeding BMW hit another car, then spun into the victim. The driver is not in custody.
The 8 News Now investigators with an exclusive follow-up to a story that we brought you this past winter. A court dedicated to cleaning up the Strip, the so-called Resort Corridor Court, did open this past winter, and then the day after Memorial Day, the judge presiding over a record number of defendants accused of misdemeanors and felonies that occurred on or near the Strip. But while we were there, we saw a lot of the accused sent home.
Ms. Ross, the district attorney has denied charges. They're not proceeding with a criminal case against you. You're free to leave.
Thank you. You have a great rest of your day, Judge.
You too.
So coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, our 8 News Now investigators will be looking into how the court looks 6 months later and whether it's making the Strip any safer.
A new nonprofit aiming to help one of the Valley's animal shelters. It is called Friends of Henderson Animal Shelter, or FOHAS. Kenny Burdett and Scott McIntyre volunteer at the shelter. They started the organization 2 months ago, and Thursday they held their first fundraiser at Chinitas on Water Street in Henderson, raising more than $15,000 to help provide items to the shelter. If you would like to help out, their contact and donation information can be found at FOHAS, FOHAS.org.
It has been 2 years since the legislature approved pot consumption lounges, but we still haven't seen any of them open. The first 3 conditional state licenses, including the largest one, which is at Planet 13, have been approved. Now, they were fast-tracked because the lounges are actually attached to an existing dispensary, but none of them have the license they need from their local jurisdictions. Brandon Wygand with the Nevada Cannabis Association says we may not see one open until probably the end of the year.
I think everybody, wanted these to be open sooner than later, but this is a really new concept, very different from what lounges even exist in other states. And so I think, we've taken the right approach in going slow and methodical to make sure it's done right.
So the only legal consumption room currently open is in downtown Las Vegas. It's owned by the Las Vegas Paiute tribe. 40, though, consumption lounges are going through the licensing process. Well, we know now what happened to the Titanic submersible, which really captivated the world for the better part of this week.
Yeah, while those on board perished in a catastrophic implosion, those on land are remembering those lost. Here is Christina Hager.
Worshippers at a mosque in Pakistan held a special prayer for prominent businessman Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman. They were among the 5 people on board the submersible that imploded on the way to the Titanic wreckage.
This was a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
The Coast Guard announced the discovery of debris from OceanGate's Titan vessel Thursday after days of searching. Also on board, British billionaire Hamish Harding, OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush, and Titanic expert Paul-Henri Nargeolet.
For him to meet his fate down there is a tragic irony in my mind.
James Cameron, director of the movie Titanic and an underwater explorer himself, was friends with Nargeolet. Cameron joined the chorus of those questioning OceanGate's safety measures.
Clearly, corners were cut here, and people paid the price.
The incident is increasing scrutiny on the world of deep-sea exploration in general and OceanGate in particular. But OceanGate's co-founder is defending the company's CEO.
He was very keenly aware of the risks of operating in the deep ocean environment, and he was very committed to safety.
A U.S. Coast Guard official said Friday that the investigation into what happened will continue in the area where the debris was found. Christina Hager, CBS News, Boston.
And still ahead here at 5, women, listen up. This is all about you. We're going to shed some light on something we don't often talk enough about, and that's perimenopause. It's a real thing with real symptoms, what those are, and how you can battle them.
And holding on to Las Vegas history, let's travel back to the bright lights and fast moves of the burlesque era. You're watching 8 News Now at 5. We are live, local, now.
RC Willey has everything you need to make your home more comfortable.
Sorry. Perhaps there's no place like your home because you made it so at RC Willey. Come shop our dreamy mattress department.
Bed Bath & Beyond stores are closing. Everything is 40 to 60% off the lowest ticketed prices. Nothing is excluded. New merchandise is arriving at discounted prices. Stores are stocked with home, bedding, kitchen, and more. Bed Bath & Beyond stores are closing. Scan the code to find a store near you. Everything is 40 to 60% off the lowest ticketed prices at Bye Bye Baby's closing sale. Entire store on sale. Plus, new items are arriving at discounted prices. Save on huge assortments of strollers, monitors, apparel, and more. Bye Bye Baby stores are closing. Scan the code to find a store near you.
At Adam Kuttner & Associates, people really do win.
Injured? Ask attorney Adam Kuttner, 382-0000, where winning is everything. Voted best law firm and best accident attorney in Las Vegas.
Hey, Las Vegas! Friendly Ford says yes to you. Yes! Your neighborhood Ford store, close by on North Decatur, just off the US 95. Friendly makes it easy with a huge selection of Ford vehicles, including Bronco, Maverick, Explorer, F-150, Mach-E, and more. All the cool stuff, now with free pickup and delivery for all your service needs. Friendly Ford, delivering you the best customer satisfaction in sales, service, parts, and body shop for 53 years.
Friendly Ford, you get more.
The Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale ends Sunday at the Palace Station Hotel and Casino. This is the first time ever at this location, and we're blowing out all remaining inventory. The Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale ends Sunday at Palace Station Hotel and Casino.
It's go time. Time to tackle the toughest AC and plumbing problems out there with more than 80 years of Gettle knowledge and expertise. Day or night, Gettle's got this. Gettle, we do things the right way, not the easy way.
If your garage has become a breeding ground for bugs and pests, it's time to call A1 Garage Door Service. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today.
Denise Valdez and Brian Loftus, only on 8 News Now.
Live as breaking news happens.
Sources telling us one shooting victim has died.
Local stories you care about.
A large fire has broken out.
And your weather now. Still a little bit of breeze out there, as you can see.
This is 8 News Now, Live at 5, with Brian Loftus, Denise Valdez, and Ted Florendo. 8 News Now, Live at 5. Live, local, now.
Women's bodies go through significant changes as they age, but one expert wants women to know that perimenopause and menopause are not just phases in your life. They can be associated with some very serious diseases. 8 News Now anchor Kirsten Joyce explains.
We really need to start prioritizing our health and making this a topic that we speak about a little bit more openly.
Dr. Kavita Desai says women need to be having a lot more discussions about perimenopause, the precursor to menopause. We all hear about hot flashes, difficulty sleeping, and fatigue. Some women notice as early as their mid-30s, others go through it closer to age 50. But she says there are so many other symptoms that can be very serious.
Some of them actually quite debilitating, things like heart palpitation, tinnitus, which is ringing in the ears, dry, itchy skin. It can lead to osteoporosis and bone loss.
Dr. Desai says women need estrogen and progesterone to feel our best. As we're losing these hormones, we need to make changes to our lifestyles. The first, what we consume. Avoid processed carbs and sugar.
We do not process sugars the same once we start to go through menopause. Without our estrogen, our insulin sensitivity changes. So changing diet to a more whole foods, lots of plant-based foods, and clean meat, like protein sources.
Move more, burn those extra calories, strength train as you need to build muscle during this time. Try to manage your sleep routine as it often becomes disruptive, and find a way to better manage stress.
During our perimenopausal years, with the loss of estrogen, we tend to have increased stress levels, increased anxiety, a lot of depression. So again, that's something that we should be focusing on with more mindfulness, meditation, yoga.
So you might want to write this down. Supplements can help with a lot of those symptoms and with inflammation as well. So increase your omega-3s. Find a good vitamin D and vitamin B complex. And also a couple of other things here. Ashwagandha and rhodiola can help reduce stress.
You're watching the Valley's most accurate forecast on 8 News Now.
TGIF, finally Friday outside right now. Those winds calming down a little more, lighter winds from earlier today. Currently 89 degrees. This is below normal. Again, we dropped the numbers compared to yesterday too. 7% our humidity, only 4 degrees cooler than yesterday. So good to see that too. And winds remain calm. If you want the heat, a lot of you moved here for the heat, you're going to get it next week. In the meantime, though, temperatures are below normal region-wide. 88 in Centennial Hills right now, 83 for you in Summerlin. Aliante, let's head up there to you. 94 for you, 91 on the east side of Sunrise Manor, 91 also Green Valley, 91 also Henderson, popular number there on the southeast part of the valley. 87 Rhodes Ranch and Mountains Edge, 92 Southern Highlands, 88 currently for Pahrump, double 8s for you in Boulder City, and we're 93 down River in Laughlin. No triple digits region-wide for late June. Unbelievable to see this. Wow. As far as the national weather forecast goes, 2 tornado warnings that we're watching in Wyoming, all in Wyoming right now. This one just northeast of Casper, this one north of Cheyenne right now as that system continues to push its way east. We're watching this storm here, see if we get a notch in here. Yeah, I can actually see that this little echo, the little bow, that's actually a tornado that's going to be starting to form there just north of Cheyenne. Zooming out, clear skies for us. That low is the reason for some of that severe weather we're seeing up there. The high to the south is going to start to inch a little bit more towards us, and as it does, temperatures will warm up as we head into your weekend. So let's point out your weekend forecast for you. Saturday, 95 degrees. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for tomorrow. Even warmer for Sunday at 98 degrees. Hotter but breezy on Sunday. Light breeze is expected for tomorrow. For Saturday, Sunday, we'll see those stronger winds. Your accurate wind forecast for tonight, if you got plans for this evening, not bad at all. The colors go away here because winds will calm down even more for tonight. And even lighter winds, look at this, in the morning hours for your Saturday morning. None of the big colors. Winds less than 10 miles per hour. In fact, less than 5 for many of our neighborhoods. By the afternoon, though, we'll start to see some of those breezes return from the south for Saturday. Like we said, winds will be stronger on Sunday. 70 degrees your forecast overnight, mainly clear and quiet. Look for light winds tomorrow, 95 degrees. Warmer tomorrow, but still below that 102-degree average. We're going to reach that, but not until next week. Temperatures hovering in the high 90s and then triple digits next week. I want to point out to you this. By Friday, this will be the latest day on record where we've reached 100 degrees. We're going to come close to that. 99 on Wednesday. We're not going to reach that record, but we'll come close. 104, even nearing 110 by the time we get to next week. That is your most accurate forecast. 8 News Now. We'll be right back.
The 8-day forecast on 8 News Now is sponsored by Casablanca.
When people say, oh, you live in Las Vegas, they don't really get that because so many people visit Las Vegas and they just think of that corridor of the Las Vegas Strip. But it is so rich and there are so many great little pockets and neighborhoods.
8 News Now, live, local, now.
Dr. Mehta knows pain.
Oftentimes, I see patients with pain in their knees, their hips, their back, and it's actually coming from their feet.
Her suggestion?
It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
Come in for your free arch support fitting.
Vinyl windows seem to be a typical choice here in the local area. Some companies even advertise high-quality vinyl. Ann Romer here. Before you invest in vinyl windows, listen to what Michael Smith of Renewal by Andersen has to say.
With our temperature swings, vinyl tends to warp, which causes condensation between the panes and drafts. And most vinyl windows just look very low-end to begin with. Our customers don't want that.
And what are Renewal by Andersen's windows made of?
Our windows are made out of a thermopolymer composite material called Fibrex. It's beautiful like wood, but it doesn't require the maintenance of wood. And we engineered it to be 2 times stronger than vinyl. So you're getting a window that will really last.
Now this is innovation. You have a feature on your windows that allows for a better view.
Our TrueScene screens are made out of an ultra-fine stainless steel mesh, which is virtually invisible. You get less dirt buildup, more fresh air circulation, and a better view out of your windows.
Now, if we're talking about comfort, how much does the glass matter?
The glass in a window makes a huge difference. Our high-performance low E4 Smart Sun glass is infused with silver oxide. It's engineered to help keep the cold air outside in the winter and keep the warm air outside in the summer. It also blocks 95% of the harmful UV rays that fade your furniture and your hardwood floors.
Well, that's impressive, Michael. Thank you. And right now, Renewal by Andersen has a great offer for homeowners.
Before June 30th, buy one window, patio door, or entry door, and get the next one 40% off. That's 40% off. Plus, save $35 on every window and save $50 on every door. With no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer ends June 30th. For a free appointment with Renewal by Andersen, call 702-703-3838.
Gary knows golf.
You need to have good balance, good support.
Where to find that support?
2 words, The Good Feet Store. How many words is that?
Swing by for your free arch support fitting.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Ed Bernstein and Associates. Enough said. Call Ed. 5 at 5. This is 8 News Now.
Stocks taking a tumble today. The numbers adding up to a losing week, marking the first time that has happened in 2 months. The Dow dropping more than 200 points, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ losing ground as well.
Burlesque is part of the unique history of Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's actually a Burlesque Hall of Fame downtown. Candace Charles gives us a look at what is a hidden gem.
This is Becoming Burlesque. There's step-by-step instructions on how to do classic burlesque moves.
A dance studio, an art exhibit, an avenue to burlesque history. The Burlesque Hall of Fame is a hidden gem with a multitude of treasures.
We're telling them about a rich history that is uniquely American.
Buttercup is the program coordinator. She takes visitors through its history. Created by renowned burlesque entertainer Jenny Lee and brought to Las Vegas by the late Marilyn Monroe of burlesque, Dixie Evans, the Hall of Fame has been offering a tour since 2010.
What we've come to think of as the sort of traditional topless show or Las Vegas showgirl show has its roots directly in burlesque.
Dustin Wax is the Hall of Fame's executive director. He tells me much of what you see in the museum was donated from performers throughout the years. And earlier this month, their annual fundraiser, The Weekender.
This is the largest gathering of burlesque performers from past to present.
With the help of donations and the strong burlesque community, Buttercup and Wax are able to keep the museum going, inspiring the next generation of stars through their school of striptease.
We can do a tease, make sure you're looking at your audience.
And reminding Hall of Fame visitors that everyone has the capacity to express themselves.
It's just a really important part of our culture, and we hope that it has lessons for everyone that walks through here.
The Burlesque Hall of Fame does guided tours. You'll find that happening Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday from 11 to 5. Admission, $12 for locals, $10 for students, seniors, and for veterans and active military. Their quarterly show will be on July 15th at the space. We posted information about it on our website, 8newsnow.com.
And moving forward with plans for an African American museum and cultural center. The community showing up for the second of 3 workshops where they had a chance to take a look at these concepts. Now, the museum was first proposed back in 2020, so at this point it's really into its master planning phase. The 3rd meeting, by the way, is coming up next Friday from noon to 3. So we've got a lot of cultural experiences, everything from the speakeasy at the Mob Museum to burlesque, African American Museum.
And on this day in Las Vegas, on a Friday, with all of what you talk about, you go, what am I going to do this weekend? Because there's hundreds
so
of
many
options.
things.
It's so great to see that they're doing that. That's awesome.
We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
Over 8,000 episodes.
Competitive gameplay and high scores.
More than 500,000 clues.
Look at this, we got a game going.
2 hosts.
Let's